Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for clicking on this video. It is my first ever rock slicing video. So let's get into it. Things start out a little bit slow for me here. It's been a while since I've sliced any stones. I'm going to start out with some obsidian slabs and just kind of get used to the machine again. I filmed this doing a live stream last night. I was able to go to my local rock cutting shop, the Rock Rollers of Spokane, and I was able to slice a whole bunch of stones. I brought a whole bunch of rocks in to slice up. Most of it was obsidian. I think my favorite was the labradorite. You saw a little bit of that there in the beginning of the video. And then my intention with coming into the Rock Rollers Club was to slice a bunch of garnets for an upcoming video where hopefully I'm going to be able to cut a few star garnets properly. I've had quite a hard time figuring that out, but hopefully this next video will aid me and anyone else who's been interested in cutting star garnets. But for this video, it's just going to be me slicing. I'm still learning quite a bit how to film and capture this footage. So the angle of the saw is a little limited. I have a small tripod and I couldn't get it high enough to get an overhead shot, but it's kind of the best that I could do. This cool little piece of I believe midnight lace obsidian I got from a gentleman selling in the parking lot of this Rock Rollers Club last year. What caught my eye with this slab was the very thick cluster of ribbons throughout the center of this piece. So I'm going to end up slicing it, getting a rectangle basically from the center of this slab so I can make a cabochon here in a future video. I'm gonna do my best to showcase all the cuts and slices, mostly just looking to do nice reveals of the stones, but these first couple of cuts again are just me getting used to the saw. It's been over a year since I've used them. The nice thing is this is a friction-based saw, so I don't have to worry about slicing my fingers off. It can cut a fingernail, but it would take a lot of pressure for it to slice through my hand. So I'm not too worried about cutting myself. I just want to make sure I'm cutting my stones the way that I want. So here is that center piece of the stone. Nice little square, so I should be able to get a good oval rectangle out of it. Lighting's a little tough, but I try to show you just that unique banding there. And then we move on to this stone. Unfortunately, I cannot remember what it was. I got it in Utah. It seems almost like a chalcedony, but I'm not a gemologist, still learning about all these stones, but my intentions with this is to make a couple gauges for my wife. Nice little unique jewelry. Bottom half I'll be able to make a cabochon or two out of, and then the top portion is what I'll make gauges out of. This red stone is again a similar project, going to be gauges for my wife. I was not prepared for how hard this stone is. I spent probably a solid 5 minutes trying to cut through it and barely got halfway through this piece. I ended up slicing just a little chunk off. I will show you what it looks like. There's a nice little pattern to it. But I ended up putting this piece on one of the bigger saws and let it cut it for me because I could not do it myself. This tiger's eye and another cylinder similar size. Again, is going to be some gauges for my wife. She's been pretty enthusiastic about me making her some jewelry, and her having gauges in her ear, having rocks is something pretty unique. So it's not easy to make, but what I've made so far I think is pretty awesome, and this is probably going to do the same thing. But I've got this piece and then another piece that I'll show you that I sliced kind of back to back. Here's kind of where I think the fun begins. I start slicing the labradorite as well as some rainbow obsidian intermittently, but the labradorite in this video I think is what really takes the cake. So with that, I'm gonna leave you guys to it. Hopefully you enjoy. If you do, please hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos. Hopefully some more slicing videos will come in the future, but I've got other projects I think in the works, like the star garnets. Hopefully I'll be able to show you how I make gauges and other cabochons that I make from these stones. But yeah, if you guys enjoy it, please support me in this endeavor. But I will leave you with some music and some pretty stones.
Thank you.